for a big victory here. Question is, can O'Sullivan level up and also just find a bit more fluency? As I say, he's had 3 centuries in 2 matches, but not a lot of fluency yet today in terms of break building anyway. Now, Judd Trump, he likes a century or 2, of course. 73 he's had this season. But this is a tough battle as well on table 2 with David Lilley. 2-2, Trump 58-0 in front, but back in his chair at the moment.
Yeah, there'd been a re-rack at the start. An earlier frame 5 had to be re-racked. So Trump got in first here. Yeah, right, it's a hard match. David Lilley has been a good player for years, and he is playing probably somewhere near his best right now. Some good wins this week. Of course, this would be the best if he were to go on and convert this, but he's made a mistake there. So Judd with an opportunity to get back to the lead. But it is a hard-fought match, and I don't think Judd would have expected anything but from David Lilley, quite honestly. No, he's missed. He's missed it by a mile, that. It didn't look that difficult. Played it with a bit of side, I think, I'm sure. But anyway, the frame lives on. And Trump... I think the problem, you know, with these tables, certainly, and they're playing easily, I mean, without keeping on about it, the breaks, if you look at the breaks over the first 3.5 days, you'll just see there's been absolutely all barrage of huge breaks. The problem is you're 58 in front with a number of reds left. You've won nothing. If you leave a chance, you expect your opponent to clear. And that might happen there still.
Frame 6, Hossein Vafaei to break.
So Hossein Vafaei breaks off in frame 6. Now, can he get 2 in front? He's been 1 in front 3 times, including right now. O'Sullivan each time has pegged him back. But Vafaei's making the higher breaks. The 3 highest in the match have been made by him. So O'Sullivan may need to find his scoring boots. It's an interesting juncture of this contest, I think. Remember, the winner plays Ding Junhui or Sean Murphy. They're live in our second session, night session, in Yushan, lunchtime in Europe and the UK.
It doesn't appear that he's left anything there. It's a terrific shot. Even Hossein was applauding that one. Beautifully cued. Well, he gave the bunch of reds a hefty old whack, but nothing really came out. This is a more difficult red than the one he's knocked in if he plays it up the table. Is that a plot? Oh, Sullivan doesn't think so. I was just thinking, actually, Dave, these two, they had that big needle match, didn't they? And a lot was made of that game at the Crucible, which O'Sullivan won easily. Hossein smashed the reds all over the table in anger early on. All of that. Now they seem to be best of pals. I mean, Hossein was applauding that pot. Ronnie's been apologising for the flukes and tapping the table. Big smiles. It's all changed, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think Vafaei got something out of his system, didn't he, with all that? And I think Ronnie probably looked at it and thought, well, I've been in aggro over the years. I can kind of almost see his point in a way. But I think what's interesting now about this match, we've been talking about the tables have been playing really good for scoring. And yet we've got the greatest ever break builder who's struggling actually to make big breaks. His highest is still only 51. And that is a dynamic that he's going to have to change, I think, if he's going to win. But yeah, I mean, the match has been played in a lovely spirit.
Yeah, I wonder if Hossein will be just trying to get the cue ball to the black cushion, or if he's going to attempt a double of some kind here. To the right middle. I mean, they're set up so well, these reds now. When the chance does come, it would be a really good one. There's so many reds in open play down the centre that the chance could be significant. Sullivan's got to ensure that the cue ball heads right the way back underneath the black cushion here. That's his main priority. And that's what he's achieved. Now, a plant to middle, I think. This is what Hossein is looking at. It looks on. I don't know if the left-hand red is slightly in the way of the plant, which would throw it offline. If the two reds above it were not there, I think it would be very makeable. May well still be, but he doesn't want to make contact with the red above the plant because it would just throw him off centre. Very nice. Well, that was very handy. That came along at the right time, and now significantly Hossein Vafaei has got the chance. Yes, he might be able to play on the blue here. He wouldn't normally play that sort of shot, but the table's playing easily. To get the blue on its spot would be very handy. Especially with the next red easy, the red to the right middle. Blue on the spot, and he's away.
Eleven. $12.
All about keeping calm here and
19.
just focusing on what he's doing, but he must sense a big opportunity for what will be a big win, of course. And sets him up.
20.
He's obviously not through yet, but if he were to win, it sets him up for what will be a memorable few days, because not only the title, but also a chance to get in the Tour Championship, get to the Crucible as of right. All of that is in the background. It all comes from success for Vafaei.
Yeah, I mean, anyone that's not in the Tour Championship that's still in this event can find their way into it. With such a big first prize, it will just leapfrog so many other players. Of course, he's on the brink of place in the tour and maybe a seeded position at the Crucible. All these things are possibilities for him still. Although the draw is very difficult playing
27.
O'Sullivan and to play another leading player. He's good enough to beat anybody, though.
Yeah, and I think he definitely brings something to any tournament. We saw, of course, him win the shootout a couple of years
34.
ago. Quite emotional scenes there. He'd had a family bereavement. He's his own man. He doesn't mind saying what he thinks. Creates a few headlines for the sport, which can't be a bad thing.
$35.
Well, that was not a particularly good kiss. Nudged into the 3
42.
reds. Hit the wrong side of them. The other side, I think he'd have been on something for sure. And now, almost without flinching, he's going to try and keep this break going, but he's not got an easy shot to do so. He looks like he's playing the double to left middle.
Hossein Vafaei, 42.
He'd be annoyed not to have made more than 42 out of that, because it was a golden chance to get another frame on the board.
Yeah, this red is possible. That's the other thing. Having not nailed the double. So it could be a big turning point. We'll see. O'Sullivan's in.
Yeah, I mean, those chances where the cue ball ends up at the black end and all the reds at the other end, usually when you do get first in, it's quite a significant visit to the table. But as I say, he didn't kill it off by any stretch. And now O'Sullivan gets his go.
8. 9.
Just to say, Barry Hawkins is 4-1 up on Steve Maguire. So Hawkins
16.
frame from reaching the quarterfinals here. And of course, he is in the Tour Championship, so he's at the moment a 16 seed for Sheffield.
17. $22.
Did it well. He did just brush the red on the way through, which I wonder means he might not be able to get through to the pink, which is what he intended. I think that's what it, yeah. Would have been tight anyway, actually, past the green. There you are. He's played to screw onto the brown full ball to leave the red to middle.
25.
And he's played it left-handed on top of that. Didn't get the cannon. Now this is where things are getting very difficult now. How's he going to keep this break alive? Because it's starting to dry up. Well, I'm not too sure whether he played on reds to left middle. But if he's ever going to pop that left-hand red to the middle, he couldn't be
28.
better in behind it to do so. Seeing the way they're lined up, he probably
29.
did play on them. They were both available.
33.
We've already seen that the ping
34.
doesn't go cleanly into that pocket. I mean, ping from the green spot would be the ideal ball to play the cannon, but I just don't think it goes easily enough. Might have to actually play the green through the gap. It's not a natural cannon now. If that pink was completely available to that pocket, he would play pink onto the red. It's just too tight, I think. It's very hard to play that shot because there was too much angle on the green. You had to play it slowly to try and stop it coming across the table too far, the cue ball. So successfully back in the frame. It's going to be a close one, this, and a very important point of the match.
Yeah, it feels a vital stage, doesn't it? 4-2 or 3-3, bit like yesterday, really, with Lou Hossein, different sort of frame. Of course, O'Sullivan at that point was in front.
Well, he looked at the potting angle. He's not been completely flawless at long range today.
比赛的时候，请观众不要走动。
Well, it's a difficult shot. It's not really time to be distracted by somebody moving around. Could have been a lot worse, I think, where the balls have landed.
Yes, cannoned blue, and the blue is also in the way of a sort of shot to nothing to left corner, so got away with it.
It's a brilliant shot because he didn't really like the cueing. He tried 3 or 4 ways and he was worried about hitting the pink with his cue. That pink also is in the way of the yellow going to its own pocket, so that's brought about another slight problem for O'Sullivan. Positionally, he's got to play a different route onto the yellow now. If anyone can, he can. Seems the kind of frame where there's always something in the way of sort of plain sailing.
Eight.
He saw the problem. He felt the best he could do finishing there. Still not over this frame because a little straight on this. It's going to be a real test of his cueing to get from green to brown.
13.
This is the final part of it, isn't it? Knocking this in. He's done well here, you know, O'Sullivan. It's a sort of frame, can think of times when he wouldn't have come through all the obstacles that were in his way, and there've been a few.
Vafaei was nicely in, wasn't he? He played that cannon that went wrong, tried the double. O'Sullivan has sort of metaphorically rolled up his sleeves here, just seemingly done enough. One snooker needed already. He's played some big shots as well. The yellow was one. The blue's in. So it's going to be 3-3. He's winning frames that maybe you don't associate with him, but the point is he's winning them. Having to really battle here, but he's standing up.